What if I told you that just 7 days could flip your entire life upside down? Not with gimmicks, not with wishful thinking, but with raw, uncomfortable, real change, starting with the habits you overlook every day. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming you. The invisible wake-up call, power in the quiet hours. Have you ever wondered what your life would feel like if you stopped waking up to chaos and started waking up to clarity? Most people hit snooze, stumble into their day, and never realize they're already behind. I was one of them until I decided to wake up at 5 a.m. for 1 week. It didn't feel like a productivity hack. It felt like discovering a hidden dimension of time no one talks about. And in that silence, something shifted. Waking up early wasn't easy, but that's what made it powerful. The world was still, and for the first time in years, I heard my own thoughts. I stretched, I breathed. I watched the sky change colors from my balcony and felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. There was no rush, no noise, just presence. That 1 hour gave me more control over my entire day than anything else I had ever tried. But here's the catch. This change didn't come from willpower. It came from awareness. When you reclaim your morning, you don't just gain time, you regain yourself. And as strange as it sounds, it was just the beginning. Because once I changed how I started my day, I had to change how I moved through it. And that's where the next habit comes in. Move the body, free the mind. Did you know that just 20 minutes of movement a day can rewire your brain? Not hypothetically, scientifically. Exercise isn't just about burning calories. It boosts your mood, sharpens your focus, and literally changes your chemistry. I used to avoid it at all costs. But when I finally committed to moving my body daily for 1 week, everything from my energy to my mindset started to shift. I didn't go to the gym or follow intense routines. I started small. A walk, a stretch, a quick jog. What surprised me wasn't how my body changed. It was how my mind cleared. I felt lighter, calmer, more myself. One morning, running under a crisp sky, I had this moment of complete clarity, like I was finally breathing after holding it in for years. That run did more for me than hours of scrolling ever could. And here's the truth most people miss. The goal isn't to look different, it's to feel different. When movement becomes a ritual, not a chore, you start to reconnect with who you are beneath the stress. But that reconnection goes even deeper when you stop running from your thoughts and start writing them down. And that's exactly what the next habit unlocked for me. Writing to hear myself. Think, have you ever tried to outrun your own mind, only to realize it follows you everywhere? That was me, until I picked up a notebook. Journaling sounded pointless at first, like something reserved for overthinkers or people with too much free time. But I gave it 1 week. No filters, no rules, just pen to paper, thoughts to page. And what I discovered in that silence changed how I saw myself. Each night, I wrote for just 10 minutes. Sometimes about my day, sometimes about things I didn't even know were weighing on me. I uncovered patterns, insecurities, forgotten dreams, things I had buried under distractions and noise. One entry about a bad workday turned into a breakthrough. Suddenly, I wasn't just venting, I was understanding. And that understanding gave me power. Journaling didn't make my problems disappear. It made them visible. And once I could see them clearly, I could start changing them. That simple notebook became a mirror, a therapist, a compass. But it also made me realize something deeper. I wasn't just disconnected from my thoughts, I was disconnected from my body too. And that realization led me to the next habit, one that completely transformed the way I eat. Eating like meditation. Have you ever finished a meal and realized you barely remember eating it? That used to be every day for me. I was always eating on autopilot, scrolling, rushing, distracted, until I tried something radical. Mindful eating. 1 week of paying full attention to every bite, and suddenly food became more than fuel. It became a moment of presence. I cleared the table, put the phone away, took deep breaths before my first bite. At first it felt awkward, too slow, too quiet. But then something amazing happened. I started tasting my food again. The texture of oats, the sweetness of honey, the crunch of a fresh veggie. It was like my senses came back to life. And even better, I stopped overeating without even trying. Mindful eating taught me that the way we eat reflects the way we live, rushed, distracted, disconnected. But slowing down revealed emotions I had been burying with snacks, boredom, stress, loneliness, and once I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. That's when I realized it wasn't just my food habits that needed boundaries, my entire digital life was out of control. And that's exactly what I tackled next. The digital diet, less screen, more life. What if I told you your phone might be the biggest thing stealing your peace? I didn't realize how much of my life I was losing to mindless scrolling until I set a simple rule. Just 1 hour of non-work screen time per day. That's it. No Instagram spirals, no YouTube rabbit holes, no Netflix until I passed out. And the result? It felt like I'd added hours, real, meaningful hours back into my life. The first few days were brutal. I kept reaching for my phone without thinking. But when I stopped, something unexpected happened. I rediscovered boredom. And it wasn't a bad thing. It pushed me to pick up a book, go for walks, journal, sketch, even just sit in silence. My sleep improved, my mind felt clearer, and I stopped comparing my life to everyone else's highlight reel. That alone was worth it. The truth is, when we cut the noise, we start hearing what really matters. Reducing screen time wasn't about disconnecting from tech. It was about reconnecting with me. But here's the thing. Once I cleared the digital clutter, I still needed to fill that space with something meaningful. And that's where the next habit stepped in. Habit 6. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. Have you noticed how uncomfortable silence has become? The moment things go quiet, we reach for noise, music, podcasts, endless content. But 1 week of intentional silence, just 10 minutes a day, taught me something I never expected. In the stillness, my thoughts got louder, but so did my truth. And instead of running from it, I listened. I started with short moments, no background music, no phone, just me and the quiet. At first it was awkward. My mind raced, I felt restless, but slowly something shifted. I began noticing the tension in my body, the worries under my breath, the ideas I'd been too distracted to hear. Silence wasn't empty, it was alive. And inside it I found focus, peace, and even creativity. We often think productivity comes from doing more, but sometimes the real breakthrough comes from doing nothing, on purpose. That silence became my reset button, my grounding wire. And once I felt that level of clarity, I wanted more, which led me straight into the final habit, one that connected everything I'd learned into a single powerful practice. Habit 7. Living on purpose. Every single day. What if the real reason you feel stuck is because you stopped asking, why? We wake up, go through the motions, follow routines, but forget to question the purpose behind it all. For 1 week, I tried something different. I asked why before every decision. Why am I doing this? Why does it matter? That tiny question became the key to living with intention. It wasn't about overanalyzing. It was about awareness. Why scroll for 30 minutes? Why skip that workout? Why eat this now or say yes to that plan? The more I asked, the clearer my choices became. I stopped living reactively and started living deliberately. And the result wasn't just more productivity, it was alignment. Suddenly my habits weren't chores. They were extensions of who I wanted to become. This habit tied everything together. Early mornings, mindful meals, less screen time. They all started to make sense when fueled by intention. Living on purpose gave meaning to the silence, the movement, the reflection. And once you feel that kind of clarity, there's no going back. Because now, every day isn't just another day, it's your day. And that's where real transformation begins. You don't need a perfect plan to change your life. You just need one brave week, 7 days, 7 habits. And suddenly the fog starts to lift. None of these shifts were magical. They were messy, uncomfortable, real. But in that discomfort, I found clarity. I found me. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about finally choosing to stop running on autopilot, to wake up with intention, move with purpose, eat with presence, and live with fewer distractions. Each habit built on the last, and together they created momentum I never thought was possible. So here's my challenge to you. Pick just one habit. Start today. Let it guide you for a week and see what unfolds. Because if a single week can shift my entire perspective, imagine what it could do for you. Small changes, big transformation. This is only the beginning.